Hello everyone, Tina here for Queen & Co. I hope your day's going wonderful. I'm so glad you're joining me. We're going to shake things up today with a Happy Haunting Shaker Kit. This is such a fun kit. I'm going to share with you what's in the kit, and then we're going to create 2 fun Halloween cards. So starting off, you have your cover sheet. I always say keep it because on the back side it tells you how to put together. It's basically a die guide, so it tells you how to put together each one of the elements. In this kit, you get a witch, you get the cute little Dracula, you get the cute little monster, you get a kitty cat, you get a Happy Halloween greeting, some candy, a few pieces of candy. You get candy corn. Candy corn's not a shaker, but it's a fun element to add to the cards. Pumpkin, you get this piece of candy, and then you also get a Happy Halloween greeting that is a shaker also. Lots of elements in here. And on the front you also get some fabulous inspiration. I do want to mention before I go through the kit contents that Queen & Co. does have the outline dies. This is sold separately, but the outline dies, what they do is they make a portable shaker. So you can add this to the back. So if you use your shaker foam, you put it to the back of this, and then you can add your elements on top, and then this could be portable. You can put it on a tag, you can make an ornament out of it. These are really handy to have, but not necessarily, because you could use your scissors to create one too, but these are definitely handy. Okay, so let's go ahead, and they'll be linked down below if you want to head over and check it out. First, let's go over the dies. These are all of our dies. There are 30 dies in here. And the size of these are like perfect for A2 cards, but not just A2. You could do 5x7s, slim lines, mini slim lines, sky's the limit. So these are all your dies this month. You also get your shaker foam, and your shaker acetates are in here too. There's 24 in here total. So you can create 3 of each one of these. So how cool is that? Okay, and don't forget you get your acetates, 24 acetate pieces to go with it. You also get a 6x6 matte stack. Love the pattern papers in here. There's a variety, and you also get 3 sheets of each pattern that are double-sided. There are 24 sheets in total, and perfect for your Halloween. Look how cute these little spiders are. So cute. Love these pattern papers. Stripes, diagonals, pumpkins, all things Halloween here. And then lastly, we get a fabulous stamp set. This is a quality photopolymer stamp set. Let me bring in some white cardstock. And I love that all of the greetings here coordinate with all of your shaker images. So it just makes for a great card. Perfect for Halloween card making. So we're going to jump in and get started. I'm going to trim down some pattern papers and pick out the elements that we're going to be using, and we'll jump into our first card. I picked out some pattern papers, and I thought we'd create a pumpkin for our first card. So I'm going to take my pumpkin die. I'm going to cut this out with my orange cardstock. And then I'm also going to take my outline die. And again, these are sold separately, but they're awful handy. And I'll die cut out my outline with the same color of cardstock. I am going to add my pumpkin face, and I'm going to cut it out with black cardstock. And then while we're die cutting, I want to put my pumpkin in a frame. So I'm bringing in a Foundations die set. This is the Bubble and Frame Foundations die set. It has these fun little frames, and then they also have some speech bubbles or thought bubbles. I thought we would use this frame to kind of showcase our pumpkin today. So I'm going to cut this out with white cardstock. And then I'm bringing in a piece of brown cardstock. The pumpkin trunk is with the pumpkin face. So I'm just going to line it up here, and I'll die cut out the trunk of my pumpkin with brown cardstock too. Okay, while we are die cutting, I do want to do a little fussy cutting with my greeting. So in my stamp set, I'm going to stamp the greeting that says, "Hey Pumpkin." I just went ahead and put it on an acrylic block. I'm going to use my black ink, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp this at the bottom here. Such a playful font. Okay, I'll fussy cut this out and do a little bit of die cutting, and I will be right back. Once I have everything die cut out, I did take my shaker foam here and I popped out the inside. Very easy to do. What I'm going to start by doing is just removing the release paper off of the back. It removes really easily. And then I'm going to place this on my outline. Once we have this adhered, we're going to bring in some Queen & Co. toppings. This kit doesn't come with toppings, but Queen & Co. has amazing varieties of toppings. For today, I'm going to be using a couple of bundles. I have an emerald bundle. There's more to the bundle. The bundles actually come in a rainbow of colors. I just picked out the colors I'm going to use today. This is the emerald bundle. It's a little bit more chunky. And then we have the diamond bundle. Now, these are, I would say, full-size bags, but Queen & Co. does have sample bags of the diamond. They come in smaller sample bags. And then the emeralds actually come in a Halloween bundle too, that are in smaller bags. So it has the perfect colors for any Halloween project. And they'll be listed down below if you guys are interested. But for my pumpkin, I thought we would use some diamonds, some white diamonds, some orange, and then some of our orange emeralds. And we're just going to fill this up. And I'm just going to give this a little stir. Wonderful. And then I can remove the release paper. And then we can add our acetate. Before I add my outline, I'm going to bring in an orange marker. And what I'm going to do is just go around the foam here with my orange marker. Not the trunk, just the foam. The foam colors really easily. And then I'm going to use a brown marker and go over my pumpkin trunk or stem here. And I'm just going over the sides because our outline, there we go. Then what we can do is flip this over. I'm going to use my tape runner to adhere this. But if you wanted to use your glue, you could. And then we'll just tack down our pumpkin and our pumpkin. It's good to go. And when I mean that our pumpkin's now portable, if you don't have the background, you would just adhere this directly to the front of your card. So the background makes it really nice. Now I'm going to add my pumpkin face here. To do this, I'm going to bring in my tweezers. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue, maybe a couple dots, and we'll add our pumpkin smile. And then I'm going to add my pumpkin eyes. I'm going to add these a little bit wonky for a little bit of a playful look. And I'm not going to add my pumpkin nose. So although you can add the pumpkin nose, I'm not going to add my nose. I think he looks really cute and playful. Okay, so there is our pumpkin. And I love how he shakes. Okay, now we're going to add our pumpkin to our frame. But I did create a background to go behind my frame. And I'm just going to add a little bit of glue around the edge here. And we can add a background. I'm going to go ahead and place my pumpkin center stage in that frame. And I did forget the trunk of my pumpkin, so let's go ahead and add that. Good to go. And then we have an extra piece of foam tape that you could save for another project. Okay, let's put this, I'm going to put my greeting and my pumpkin to the side, and then now we're going to work on our background. I have the spiders and the stripe paper. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and we're going to trim these down to 2 A2 panels. I'm going to center my paper a little bit more, so this panel I'm going to trim a little bit off of. So I'm going to bring back my paper trimmer, and we're, instead of going 4 1/4, and I have both panels here, instead of going 4 1/4, we're going to take a little bit off just so I can get that spider in here. I'm going to take about 1/8 of an inch off here. Okay, just so it's a little bit more centered. And since I did that, I'm going to take a little bit off the bottom also. Okay, what I'm going to do next is add some adhesive to the bottom of my panel, and I'm going to attach it about 1.5 inches from the bottom. And then I'm going to trim away what's overhanging on the top. And then just to save a little bit of paper, I'm going to open this up. That's why I only put it on the bottom. I'm going to trim off this piece. Now we're going to adhere this to my card base. So I have a standard top folding A2 size card base. I'm just going to add a little glue here. I'll tack this down. Since we trimmed it a little bit of a white border is going to be showing. So I just want to make sure it's centered. And then I'm going to take my boo strip, and then we're going to add adhesive behind here. We're going to attach this right over the seam. I went ahead and trimmed off the edges. Okay, now before we add our frame, what I'm going to do is bring in some black twine, and I'm going to wrap it around the seam, and I'll tie a bow off to the left here. Now we can add our pumpkin. I'm going to add my pumpkin towards the bottom here. I put foam tape on this end of my my greeting. This way we can overhang it and everything's going to be nice and even. I'm going to place it right down here. Lastly, we're going to bring in some iridescent bubbles from Queen & Co. We're going to add a few bubbles to our background. That will finish off that card. I just think it's so cute. Not too bulky, which is nice, and it does have a nice little shape to it. Okay, we're going to jump into our next card. For this card, we are going to be using some candy. We're going to create a card filled with candy. In fact, we're going to use all the candy shaker elements that's in our kit. I love this little long candy, and I die cut it out 3 times along with the outline. With the tone-on-toed pattern papers that were in our matte stack. So I have the orange, the purple, and then the green. I also trimmed down a piece of our pattern paper. This is the reverse side of the orange. I trimmed it down to just slightly smaller than my A2 card base. So we have it adhered directly to the front of our card. We're going to go ahead and create our shaker elements. We're going to go ahead and remove the release paper and adhere this to the back of the outline. We'll give that a good press. I'm going to do all 3 of these at once. Okay, now I have some more of my, for this we're going to be using the diamond toppings, and I have 3 colors, orange, green, purple, and then I have the clear. We're just going to add clear and orange to the orange, clear and green to the green, and clear and purple to the purple. I'm actually going to switch out the purples. There's 2 different colors. I like the lighter versus the darker. And then we'll go ahead and add our green. We have our diamond toppings. Now what we're going to do is just remove the release paper, and then we add our acetate carefully. Goes right over the top, and I'll do the same thing with the rest of these. I'm going to use one of the extra inside pieces of foam tape, and I'm going to add some foam tape to the left and right of my candy wrapper. put adhesive here. I haven't removed the release paper off of this foam tape yet, but I'm just going to place this right over the top of my candy. Just gives a little bit of reinforcement there. Okay, I'll do the same thing with the rest of these. Now that our shakers are good to go, what I did was create 3 labels from the same die set we used for our first card. This is the Bubble and Frame Foundation die set, and this will be linked below. But what I'm going to do is take these 3 panels. I kept the inside, and I'm going to add some adhesive behind here. And I'm going to just stack them on my card. I'm not going to press down all the way just yet because I want to make sure that I can get these evenly spaced. I think that looks evenly spaced. So I'm going to go ahead and press down on them really good, and then I'm going to add the inserts to them. Okay, once we have these adhered, we're going to take our candy. I'm going to add some adhesive, and then I'll remove the release paper off of the wrapper, and then we're going to adhere these. I love how these just fit perfectly in those labels. And I'll do the same with the rest of them. Give them a good press, and we have 3 fun shakers that are filled pretty full, but they still have that shake to them. Okay, let's stamp our greeting next. I'm going to stamp the greeting that says Wicked Good Candy here for little ghouls and boys. It's so cute. I'm going to add this here. And you know, I think I'm going to do a little bit of masking with my stamp. So I'm going to use some tape. I'm going to mask off the bottom section. Let's bring in some white cardstock. And then I'll ink up the first part of it. Actually, I'm upside down, so I'll ink up the last part of it. And then I'm going to stamp it on a strip of white cardstock here. Wonderful. Now I'm going to clean off my stamp really good. And then I'll do the same thing, but this time we're going to mask off the opposite end. Now I'm going to use my scissors and trim these away, and then I'll pop them up with some foam tape. And then I'll just go ahead and add these to the center of my card. I'm going to bring in a few more of those iridescent bubbles. These are orange, and we'll just add a little bit. Lastly, I'm bringing in some more of that black twine, and I'm going to thread it through the ends of my candy wrapper, and I'm just going to tie a knot with it. And I'll trim the and then I'll trim the tails. And I'm going to do the same thing to all the end of the wrappers. So it's really easy to thread through. Okay, I'm just finishing up. If you wanted to tie a bow with it, you could, but I think a bow will just take away from the candy. But so we have a little bit of texture on the card. I think it looks really cute. And that will finish off my second card. So here's a look at both cards that we made today with the Queen & Co.'s shaker kit called Happy Haunting. Not so scary shaker cards, but they sure are cute. Hope this gives you a little bit of inspiration. Have a great day. Thank you so much for stopping by.